welcome back to Biology Online with Mr. McManus. Today we will cover 23.4. That will be the last kind of organ that we will be talking about with plants until we really pick up flowers in chapter 24, as well as seeds. So 23.4, we'll be looking at leaves. Our objectives describe how the structure of a leaf enables it to carry out photosynthesis, and to explain how gas exchange in leaves relates to homeostasis. So here you have some vegetables, once again, as we have done in the previous roots, stems, and now leaves. You are doing a garden dissection on these on leaves, that being spinach, but you can really use any leafy vegetable, kale, lettuce, a lot out there. So a lot of options when you go to the grocery store to pick up your garden dissection material. First one, if we need to understand function, we first got to take a look at structure. So once again, we need to take a look at the structure of the leaf, so that way we can understand the function of the leaf. So while we're looking at this, let's take a look at all the different tissues, right? Tissues are going to determine, or a collection of tissues is going to make an organ. So once again, you see all three tissues here. And the big player in this is going to be ground tissue, as we'll go through that. The blade is going to be the flat part, which is designed to catch sunlight. So that's going to be the broad part. I'll show you on a separate picture in a little bit. The petiole is going to be the stem of the leaf, or the part that attaches to the stem or the branch in which you will pluck it and pretty much hold it by. The dermal tissue here, you have an upper dermis here and a lower dermis here. On the outside, you're going to get some plants, those that are adapted to maintaining water. You will see a cuticle, which is this wax uh, type of covering to hold water in dry locations. You see that a lot in outside around in this area. Vascular tissue is going to be the veins that you see in a plant. Here you have the veins, so the usually a main vein down the middle of it, and then you have branches, and same function. It's going to provide water and nutrients to the plant. So you have water and nutrients going from roots all the way up to leaves through stems. So those really don't change. Once again, you have the xylem in the middle and the phloem on the around it. Then let's talk a little bit about the what is called mesophyll, or the ground tissue. Now you have two types of mesophyll that we want to cover. Okay, the first here is palisade mesophyll. That's these long structures, these long cells here that are going to carry out photosynthesis. If you look at it, these have a lot of chloroplasts. So therefore, those chloroplasts, we know the function in photosynthesis. Here you have what is spongy mesophyll. That's going to have a little bit more gaps in it, but once again, a little bit darker. Once again, also has chloroplasts in order to carry out photosynthesis as well. So the palisade mesophyll is closely packed and absorb light. Spongy mesophyll are loosely packed and connect to the exterior through the stomata. So these are going to be connected to the exterior. So you have the top carrying out photosynthesis, and the bottom pretty much are going to connect to the exterior through what here is called the stomata. So you have photosynthesis happening here and cell respiration happening for the most part here. As we know that photosynthesis, if you take a look at the chemical formula, is the same but reversed for cell respiration. So stomata here is this opening. You have two cells on the end. Those are called guard cells. And that's going to allow for exchange of gases in and out of that plant. So I want to cover a little bit more about the functions, those functions being transpiration and homeostasis. We covered transpiration in ecology a little bit. You had to talk about a water cycle, and transpiration is pretty much the evaporation of water in plants. Okay, so plants are going to evaporate water. They're going to get rid of water in gas exchange or cell respiration. You, as a human, you exhale. The mirror gets foggy. That's water vapor that's coming out of your mouth. So plants do the same thing. They breathe out water. So that water is going to get released into the atmosphere. But if it gets released, it needs to be replaced. So that transpiration process and the properties of water allow that water to be dragged up, defy gravity from the roots all the way up to these leaves and get replaced. How does that happen? Well, it happens here with these guard cells. You can look at these two guard cells here. Now, when these guard cells are inflated and filled with water, you're going to open up the stoma. Okay, now plural is stomata, but singular is going to be stoma. So here, that's what this is saying: is water is going to move into these guard cells, cause it to swell, and as it swells, it's going to open that. Now you have a ability to exchange gas. Now, when it's dry outside, okay, you have water that's going to leave those cells, closing this gap, and now you have now water and gas exchange is not going to be able to happen. So, gas exchange and respiration is really going to be dependent on the opening and closing of the guard cells. And it's really just water in and out of those cells that's going to cause it. If there's not a lot of water in the atmosphere, then this is going to close. Okay, if there is a lot of water, then this will open up. Okay. Um, I think that's pretty much it. These have to go kind of hand in hand. Um, Transpiration is just that evaporation of water into the atmosphere. Homeostasis is the uh, ability of that plant to keep um, the internal balance of the plant equal, right? It doesn't want to have too much or not enough. You know, if you don't water a plant enough, it dies, and if you overwater it, it dies as well. So it's important to maintain a stable balance of water inside of the plant. And that was 23.4 leaves.